we are down at Cry-Like Realtor in Hot Springs, where we are going to go visit with City Director for District 5, Rick Ramick. He's been under fire lately over his residence and whether he is legally serving as a director of our city. And of course that pertains a lot to the annexation, because he is in an area currently living in Enclave B, which was an area that was annexed. So we want to go in and get his side of the story, see what he answers to some of our questions. So follow us on in. Okay, well, I am here with Rick Ramick, who is the City Director for District 5 in Hot Springs. And obviously, Rick, there's been a lot of controversy recently, and we at Arkansas Herald want to offer you an opportunity to share your side of what's going on.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I do have some questions that I want to ask you, so I'm
Okay.
going to be very honest. There are things that we want to discuss.
Okay.
But I will open it up to you right now if you'd like to just kind of share what your thoughts are.
Well, the latest thing that has come up is my residency. I have dual residences, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. I developed Bay Point condominiums in 2005, and after we completed the project, my wife and I decided to buy one of the condos. We didn't think we'd be there more than a year. But here it is, 12 years later, and we have young grandchildren that come to visit, and in the summertime that's a great place for them. But in the wintertime, they really don't have a place to play. So we have been looking for a house for several years, and I found this one, and I was aware of Act 109 and the annexation, and knew that that was going to occur. So we purchased the house in July of 2015, and we had moved some stuff over there, and we're back and forth living in both places. And then in, I think, November, Area A came up, and it passed, the ordinance passed on it, no problems. And then Area B came up in January, and we passed the ordinance. So at that point, I started moving more stuff over there. Well, then the firestorm broke out, as you well know, and so I've continued to have dual residency. My homestead is there. I have not abandoned 145C. It's come up that there was no furniture in there. Well, we're, you know, that's a summertime place. We will, you know, we will be spending a lot more time there. And again, it's a dual residency situation for me. I pay taxes there. I have my homestead there, and I have abandoned the homestead.
Okay, well, and I understand that. I think that partly what people are trying to understand is not just your residency and where you live or pay taxes. It's that you also were part of the vote on Enclave B when it came up for vote. You were residing essentially at the Paddock Point. That's the area that is in the county. Is that correct?
Paddock Point's in the Area B annexation.
Okay,
area.
and that's where you call your summer home. Is that correct? That's the one on the lake?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So when you were in the middle of that vote, you were essentially residing there, but you were able to vote on annexing Enclave B.
Well, I was living in both places.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I was living in both places. That's the comment I have.
Let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about annexation and how it should occur outside of Act 109?
Okay, well, there has been laws on the books for decades about annexation. Anytime a city surrounds an enclave, they can annex that area without a vote. And again, with 109, when it came in, that was just another border that made it become an enclave within the city limits. So I agree with that. Now, as far as annexation of any area is not connected to the city, I think they should be voted on. and any voluntary annexation, we would accept that. But again, we're following the law. We're following the law. And I know you're probably going to ask why we would want to do this. We need to grow the city of Hot Springs. We need to grow it. And we want to stop the confusion of our services. We want to consolidate all that so that the first responders, the police, the fire department know where they're going and consolidate these services. All the residents in the county, well, I say all, not, I can't say that. Most of the residents in the county use city services anyway, water and sewer. So, these are not rural areas that we are. Area B especially is not a rural area, it's an urban area. They have all the services of the city and use the city streets, and so it's just logical that you take these areas in to be part of the city. And we have a great city. We do.
We do.
And I love living in Hot Springs. I love serving the citizens of District 5, and I think I've done a good job.
Let me ask you though, what would be the harm in allowing the voice of the people in those areas? And what I really want to get to is the fact that you do serve the citizens of Hot Springs, the citizens of the actual city. There's no representation per se of the people in the county in those areas that are proposed to be annexed.
Oh yes, there is.
And what is that?
They have a representative, Bruce Cozart.
Okay.
And Bruce Cozart is one of the 89 representatives that voted for Act 109.
Okay.
Now he did, and the vote was 89-3 in the House and 30-1 in the Senate.
And that's the one that allowed the special 3 borders and
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Act 109.
Right. Okay.
Now Bruce did bring to the House House Bill 1018, which was going to modify Act 109 and change it, and it didn't make it to the floor. And he said, as you know, yesterday in the newspaper that he was not going to bring it back because it wouldn't pass. So we're following the law, letter of the law, and the annexation, the enclave law has been in effect for decades now.
Well, and the other thing that you pointed out was that you enjoy serving. And that you do serve the citizens. And I can share with the people today that you actually helped me. I moved into your district December the 10th, over an area behind La Hacienda off of Central. And there were some issues with some lights that were very glaring, and I brought that to your attention. And I want to tell you publicly, thank you for addressing that. The other thing that I want citizens to understand and hear is your viewpoint about serving the citizens, because it's my understanding that your position is voluntary.
It is.
And not paid. Is that
I'm not
correct?
paid. I'm not paid, and I spend many hours doing this. Many hours at night, on the weekends. And as you can see, I have a full-time job and have about 40 agents that report to me. So I stay pretty busy, but I do take time to help all the citizens of Hot Springs, not just District 5. I enjoy doing that. It's rewarding for me. Sometimes it's difficult in times like this. But what most citizens don't understand is that we are not paid, but we have to pay to be a volunteer. I was very fortunate last election. I ran unopposed,
Right.
so I didn't have to form a campaign. But a campaign's going to cost you between $5,000 and $10,000. So we pay to work for free.
Why do people want to serve, do you think, Rick?
I can only speak for myself. I was with the Home Depot for quite a while, and I travel 48 weeks a year. And I always said that when I retired, I'm from Pine Bluff, that when I retired, I wanted to come back to Hot Springs, which I did. I love Hot Springs. We've owned property here since 1967. My family has, and I love Hot Springs. I think I can help in revitalizing the city. I want to see us. I don't want to say come back, it's a great place now, but look at everything that's going on downtown that we've got done. You know, we fought for 14 years over the water. We finally got it done. You know, we're going to get an allocation out of Lake Washita. You know, these are things that we need. And it's funny that people come to visit with me and I tell them we have a shortage of water, and they look around and say, "You've got 3 lakes here. What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you know, we got to get it out of the lake and treat it before we can distribute it to the citizens."
So you consider yourself an active person, an activist per se for Hot Springs?
I am.
Okay.
I'm one of the biggest cheerleaders there is for Hot Springs. I love Hot Springs. You know, I'm proud to be a city director, and I'm proud to represent the city of Hot Springs, and I will do everything I can to help the city of Hot Springs.
You know, and I can appreciate that. There are those, unfortunately, you know, we can't please everyone, but there are those out there that feel that this current city board is not really listening to their constituents. They're not doing things and acting. They may be, like you said, following the law, but they're not speaking on their behalf. For instance, the mayor voted against. We went back and looked at the voting on Enclave B, and she did oppose it. And I believe she's opposed most of the, if not all of them. What would you say to that?
I'd say that's her choice. You know, that's her choice. The people that voted for annexation, that is what they feel is best for the city of Hot Springs, not for the individuals. You know, we would never say, and I would never say, I don't know about the rest of them, but I would never say, I know what's best for you.
Right.
What I'm trying to do is what is best for the city of Hot Springs.
What do you think about how the recent petitions were handled in Hot Springs? I don't know if you heard the controversy.
I did.
I'm sure you did.
I did, and honestly, you know, I don't have any involvement in that at all. I don't. You know, what I was told is they followed the procedure they've always followed. That's all I know, and I can't make any definitive comments on that.
Okay. All right. Well, I can appreciate that.
I know they put in a lot of work getting the signatures. So,
Yes. Yes, there was a lot of work.
And you know, I appreciate that they did that, so that they felt that strong about it.
Right. Okay. One last question, I
Okay.
think, of you. I've taken a lot of your time today, and I greatly appreciate you doing this. When you and I talked about this interview, you said, yes, come down there at 11 o'clock. It'll take me that long to clean off my desk. I didn't know if you meant get some of your work done or whether you meant leave town.
Oh.
But what I want to know is, what do you plan to do to go forward? Because there are still those that are calling for your resignation because they feel like you are not serving legitimately. And they parallel your situation to that of Becky Arguello, who was a JP serving out in the Lake Hamilton district somewhere, moved and resigned voluntarily her position because she felt like she wasn't meeting the guidelines.
Well, I have dual residency. You know, I haven't abandoned my homestead, and I'm there. What I'm doing forward is I'm going to do my best to serve the citizens of District 5 and the citizens of Hot Springs. There will always be people that disagree with me, and you know, I knew what I was getting into. You know, and you know, I've been the president of the Hot Springs Board of Realtors. Not everyone agreed with me on the decision I made there, and I've been in business a long time, so I know that I'm not going to get everyone to agree with me, and I know that there are going to be people that don't like my decisions. But I make the decisions solely on what my conscience tells me, and what I think is best for the city of Hot Springs.
So you essentially feel your dual residency allows you to serve?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it has no effect on my service. You know, I mean, you know, you said a while ago, you know, that on your streetlight situation, you know, I've helped people that got private streets into the city. I've helped several subdivisions with that. You know, there are several things I do. I have never not returned a phone call. I've been working with a couple of ladies this week that has some concerns about some property back behind Lowe's. I've been working with them on that. And I take time out of my day to do that. And if I have to, I'll leave the office and drive by and look at something. I had a gentleman that called and wanted a tree removed, and that he thought was on city property. And I went out there and found it was in the right of way. We removed it. You know, we had some people that were camping out across from John's Honda there on Carl Drive. I went over there and went down there and then called the police and got rid of them. You know, I work for these people, and I'm not going to make them all happy.
So we're going to see you at the next board meeting. We missed you at the last one
Okay.
because there was a little dust in the air, I think.
Well, that was not a good day for me,
Right.
as you can imagine. As you can imagine, that was not the best of days,
Right.
and I needed a period to gather my thoughts.
Now, you withdrawn your request to go to Washington.
Yes.
Does that have anything to do with this?
I just didn't think at this time it was appropriate for me to do that with all this controversy.
I got you.
And, you know, I think it's very important that we go, and we do have some representatives going and everything, but I just didn't think it was appropriate for me to go.
Well, you know what? I've enjoyed my time with you.
Thank you.
And I greatly appreciate you doing this for
You're
Arkansas
welcome.
Herald. We want to show both sides of a story, and we all know that sometimes there's even three sides. So,
Well, I appreciate you inviting me for this to this interview. Again, you know, oftentimes being on the city board, we don't get the opportunity to tell our side and our personal side. So I'm not a bad guy. You know, I love the city of Hot Springs, and I love the city director's job, and I'll continue to do it to the best of my ability.
well, I appreciate your time very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.